So xAI just released their API, which will allow you to connect with their large language model Grok. For those who don't know, xAI is Elon Musk's company, AI company that is similar to OpenAI, except their large language model is called Grok rather than ChatGPT. xAI API will also be able to connect to an image and have the generative AI and multimodal features that the OpenAI API also has. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking through how you can connect to the xAI API and start integrating them into your own projects and applications that you may build. And so if you go on over to console.x.ai, you can sign up for an account with xAI. It's currently in public beta, and all you're going to need is an API key to get started with this. And so if you go down on the toolbars on the left side, you'll see an area for API keys, and you're going to go ahead and create a new API key. Now, I'll say that this is a very similar setup to OpenAI in that on the back end of OpenAI, you're able to create your API keys. It's a lot simpler right now because there are fewer features off the rip right now. If you look at what they currently have, you're able to connect to their Grok beta model, and ultimately you'll be able to generate not just text but also images and audio. Now, the thing is, the xAI API, one of the benefits to it that is very exciting is you'll be able to connect to Twitter or X, I guess. And so you'll be able to get real time data from what's going on in the world. And Twitter is kind of like a news source now, so that'll be a nice have that ChatGPT, for example, or these other large language models don't necessarily. It's a capability that they don't necessarily have. Now, I actually went ahead and built out a simple web app with limited functionality, but it kind of gets the job done just to start, so I could test out the API. And I will say that it actually currently doesn't connect directly to X, and you'll see from when I do like a prompting example. But to continue with this explanation, you're going to grab that API key, and then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to head over to a site called GPT Engineer. So for those of you who have been going into this space of AI-driven programming or natural language programming, GPT Engineer is a great site for being able to put together user interfaces and kind of think through the user experience for products that you want to build. And there's another site, V0 by Vercel, that's also really great. I like GPT Engineer because I just find it easier. Like the prompts that I put in, it tends to give me the responses that I want more than when I use V0. But I know that all these software products are continuing to evolve and get better. And so with GPT Engineer, I just prompted for it to put together a basic chat app similar to what ChatGPT looks like, and have that as an interface that will connect to the xAI API. And so this is actually what it came up with here. Again, very basic, limited functionality. I'm calling it one tro. And I just wanted to have something that I'm able to communicate back and forth with. And so I put as the header, what are we on today? And so you'll be able to communicate with this. On the left side, you can have your toolbar where different chat boxes will appear, and then you can kind of just build on top of it more and more as time goes on. So anyway, GPT Engineer, you can prompt for the kind of user interface that you're looking for. From there, you want to go on over to Replit, and then Replit is your development environment that you can use in order to actually start building and bring what you're working on to actually deploy it. Now on GPT Engineer, they actually have a functionality now where you can publish it to the web. And what's one of the cool things about GPT Engineer is that it also connects with GitHub. So you can create a GitHub repository for the interface that you build, and then you can have that loaded into Replit. So when you're in Replit and you click create Replit and you create a new Replit, you can actually import from GitHub, and it'll import the repository that is now in GitHub that came from GPT Engineer. And so that's exactly what I did. And that brought me to a new Replit project with the loaded information from GPT Engineer. Now, from there, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to connect Replit to Cursor. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, Cursor is AI coding assistant. You can check out the videos. I've done a couple of videos on Cursor and how to integrate Cursor with Replit in order to prompt using natural language, code using natural language. And so the next step is going to be to connect Cursor with Replit. And so I have my cursor here, and that's what I was using to actually get the API key integrated with the file, with the project, so that we can actually begin using the app. So you have in Cursor something called the Cursor Composer, which is this right here, and you can prompt for the things that you want. So now, boom, once you have Cursor and Replit connected, now we can bring everything together. One other thing to mention is that the API key that I mentioned initially, when you're in Replit, what you're going to do is on the secrets tab, you're going to create a new secret, and that's where you're going to put the API key. In this case, based on what I prompted in GPT Engineer and the language that it uses, GPT Engineer uses React by, and I want to say Tailwind CSS. For the secret in Replit for the xAI API key, when I prompted it in Cursor, it had me say to create the value as vi underscore xai underscore key, and then the actual API key goes on the right side. And so you can simply just prompt for the instructions in order to integrate the API key with Replit. And then on the left side here, you see all the different files. It also had me copy and paste the API key into this xAI API dot TypeScript file. So once you have that, you'll be able to load up the page. And so this is this page over here, and you can actually go ahead and test it out. And so this is how I knew that this isn't necessarily connected to X yet, just based on the prompts I was doing, but it works like any other large language model. So if I wanted to say something like, when are the United States presidential elections? It'll say here, the United States presidential elections held every 4 years. The next one, November 5th, 2024. They see on the left side, you get the chat bubble. I can say something like, can you give me the top 5 trending topics on X site today? So you see, when I put in the top 5 trending topics, it said elections 2024, SpaceX launch, climate action, tech trends, insights into latest technology, sports highlights. These trends can change rapidly and might have different trending topics based on your location. Well, actually, maybe it does actually connect to to X. I'm not completely sure yet, because it did bring up elections 2024, and it did bring up the SpaceX launch, which happened just last week. So maybe it is connected. It sounds a little biased that it's using the SpaceX launch, but I guess that was a trending topic. So yeah, this is what you have. And so from here, I actually think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building on top of this. And so you can add, using Replit, using Cursor, you can add the APIs from other large language models. Like I can add the OpenAI API, I can add the Claude API, so that I have something where I'm able to compare the different large language models with each other. You can integrate image models to something like this. And so xAI launching their API platform has actually now made me think about what it would look like to build on a lot of these different APIs and kind of have them integrated into one platform. And if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing me do and will want me to do more videos on, please let me know, because then I could be using this for a lot of my needs, honestly, and offer this to whoever may be interested in it. So there you have it, connecting the X API key to be able to use it and prompt with it like you do any other large language model. This is currently limited functionality, but I'm going to continue to build on top of this, and I'm sure the xAI platform is going to continue to evolve in the coming weeks, and so there'll be a lot more to come. But yeah, let me know what you think of this launch, how you feel about the video and this demo. But it's just really an incredible time, the fact that you are really able to build the things that you want, and it's getting much easier by the day in order to work with these different tech tools. So yeah, again, let me know what you think. Here is the xAI API and how you can go ahead and start using it yourself.